Hello, friends. Chris McMillon here with Autonomy Season 1. I'm here with our host and navigator, Richard Grove of Autonomy Season 1 and TragedyAndHope.com. Richard, this is just a quick update as to what's going on. It's been a while since the last Peace Revolution episode. I believe it was episode 93. Is that right? 93?
Yeah, we're in between episodes right now.
Excellent. Can you give us any updates on the latest development for the next Peace Revolution episode?
I'll give you an update, but after I give you an update, I want to know why there's a Tragedy and Hope member who suddenly got skills of broadcasting and interviewing. Like, where'd that come from? But to answer your question without further redirecting, we're in between episodes in Peace Revolution. So episode 93 was the Liberty and Economics Part 1. It's the history and evolution of libertarian philosophy. And the next episode, episode 94, is part 2. And it's the practical applications of libertarian philosophy through technology. So it might look into things like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and Silk Road, but it also would contain practical applications of how to resolve a lot of the problems we talked about in the Peace Revolution podcast, specifically the things we talked about with Gatto and public schooling, indoctrinating people for collectivism and not giving them the skills and resources of self-reliance, especially economic self-reliance. And so what I'm doing is taking the principles from episode 93 and putting them into practice in the real world in between episodes. And then that'll be showcased a little bit probably in that episode as well. That experiment ongoing.
Do I dare ask forecast of the timeline? I know you're very busy with a lot of other projects, with the Red Pill coming up, with the Autonomy course.
And I have a Pork Fest coming up too. So June's really busy. July's probably recovery. August, I maybe could put something together. In September, maybe we get the second 20-hour episode of the bookends on that libertarian economics line of thought. So it will come. It just needed to have a couple things done in between the episodes. So in between episodes, we've moved and grown our business and launched a course and done a lot of substantial things that have been for subscribers, basically. So the podcast, there's a lot of people who listen to the podcast, a lot of people who appreciate it, but the people who actually take action and make a difference enabled me to do what I do. I wanted to spend some time giving back to them to make sure I was building a solid foundation among the people who actually, took time and energy and effort to support me. And Lisa and our growing operation here, and trying to express truth in a way that it can be understood and replicated elsewhere.
That's great. Hopefully by the time the next episode comes out, I'll be caught up enough and I'll actually be ready for it, because I think I'm around episode 85, 86, and each podcast is about 8 or 9 hours long. So it takes a lot of processing each episode, but it's just such a...
I think there's some longer ones in front of you too.
Excellent.
So everything beyond 80, I think 80 was the 50th anniversary of JFK's assassination. So 80 was a pretty long episode. 81, 82 was so you're at some shorter episodes, and then they'll get longer. And then the format will probably get shorter because, being a dad, I have less and less time to be listening. So a 20-hour episode, let's say, in the past, I might spend 200 hours listening to content for that. And then 200 hours total. 100 of that is like listening to content. Another 100 is like getting that other content down and sampling it down. So a lot of time invested, and I don't have as much time to listen passively. I do a lot of interactive, coaching and mentoring lately. So that's been taking up a lot of my time and it's very rewarding. So there's a time and place for both. When I have the time to take in that much audio, I will definitely make longer episodes. But in the future, after we do episode 94, it'll probably get a little bit shorter for a while, more condensed, focused, realistic, connecting to what's going on now, like connecting the history we've learned and what is the practical application of how to take all this new data, new understanding, and how to survive and thrive from that.
Well, one of the many lessons that I've learned from this course, Autonomy Season 1, is time is our greatest asset. So yeah, respect to you for taking the time to put all this together, because it's been life-changing, everything, the whole website, Peace Revolution, the podcast, your show, what you've been missing, history so it doesn't repeat, and of course, Autonomy Season 1. And we've got the Red Pill Expo coming up. I saw it's just recently, was it released last night, your interview with Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I thought it was a fantastic interview. Learned a lot about Buckminster Fuller. Definitely took notes, definitely a figure who everyone should study further, including myself. I noticed you can't make any comments on the YouTube channel. Any reasons for that?
Yeah, I've never had comments on my YouTube channel. I mean, since I might have had them in 2008, but by 2009, I had other places for people who wanted to give constructive feedback and that sort of thing. So I felt it was disingenuous to leave comments open. There's an option for it as a creator. I just turned the option off because I thought it was disingenuous for people to leave messages there when I'm not going there on that video to read those messages. I have too many other things to do, especially like reading books. The way I'm able to read big books, big thick books, and like taking that information, it's because I'm not spending time going to 100 different YouTube videos, like responding to comments and reading those comments. It's not necessary in my production process. I've always been kind of self-directed, trying to answer questions and figure out what's going on that we're not being told, and to find the most verifiable, artifacts that tell that story and not. So anyway, people who want to contact me, they've always been able to come through my contact form on my website, where they could just subscribe. Then they're in the community, and then they have direct access to me all the time. Or now you could just become a student. And then last night when I was on Discord helping students, we were having a good time. I had this alarm go off on my phone, and I was like, "What's that alarm for?" And then like a half hour later, I realized it was for the Kiyosaki premiere on YouTube. So I had the premiere last night, and I was busy helping students, so I didn't show up. But I thought that was interesting.
That's great. Yeah, I don't want to, just a brief update, Richard. Why don't we do this again next week, and we'll talk a little bit, just a brief update on your book. I'm sure everyone would love to hear about how that's coming along.
Yeah, I mean, because it's easy enough for me to jump on the Zoom here with you, Chris, because you've been a Tragedy and Hope subscriber for years, and you've been a great autonomy student. You've come a long way in the past 12 weeks. And I think I owe it to everyone else who's participating in the Tragedy and Hope community to at least provide these type of short updates and give some insights into the other things we're doing. And soon there'll be a bunch of people here for the Red Pill Conference from the Autonomy class. So I'm sure we'll all have some home videos, and we could probably even do some live streaming to the Tragedy and Hope community and get other people who missed out on season 1 to at least, feel the vibe that's going on, because it's like a higher and denser quality of freedom and liberty that's being enacted. And season 1 was a great experiment, and thus far it's gone really well, and everybody's having a lot of fun, getting a lot of value out of it. But what we're looking to do for season 2 is ramp some of the things up and amp up other aspects that they'll be available for season 2. It'll be really exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. I'm feeling very optimistic, and I think everyone is. So yeah, thanks a lot, Richard. Appreciate it.
Right on. Thank you for being persistent, Chris, because in order to get an appointment with me today, you had to be pretty persistent, didn't you? And then you got it down to like, it's only 15 minutes. I was like, you know what? All right. That's easy enough. I can do that.
All right. No problem, man. I'll see you later.
All right. I'm going back to edit now.
All right.